Feeding a troll and enjoying it, a two-part video of a recent conversation. I'm making this video. I may actually originally tried to make one, but of course there was so much stuff that I wanted to say that I made two videos instead. So anyway, there'll be two parts now. The first is what I would call the setup and we engage, and two is all about hypocrisy and trolls. So the setup and the battle is engaged. I was watching a video by TheBeefybri about going to Gay Pride in Vancouver, Washington. The link's below, and there was a comment by a user called StylidiumLane. Again, there's a link to her profile, and the piece read, "It is heartwarming that the homosexual community no longer have to hide their lifestyle and can celebrate it openly. I have mixed feelings on gay marriage, to be honest though. I appreciate that we are never truly equal until we have the same rights, but I don't understand why gays would want to celebrate a ceremony based on religion which does not condone their lifestyle." I responded at StylidiumLane. "It is all about getting the civil rights that a straight couple have automatically, being recognised as family members. I signed my partner into hospital when he was taken ill. It was not a big deal here in Germany, but in some places a gay or lesbian partner is excluded because she or he is not family. That is why gay marriage, a tradition that transcends religion, which generally stole it from the secular world, is important." This is the reply I got. At John Warner. "No offence, John, but STFU. I clearly stated I appreciate that we are never truly equal until we all have the same rights. You have not at all addressed the question, just irritated the living shit out of me with your arrogance. You even say it's not an issue in your country. So why use it as a reason to participate in a religious ceremony that, in its very nature, rejects your life? I know why you want to be married, because you are already a pain in the fucking arse." Now, I thought there's several interesting things, and I dealt with several of these things, but I did find it interesting that the idea that marriage is a religious ceremony only, because it's not the case in Germany. It certainly isn't. Most of Europe it certainly isn't, and but it is in the Anglo world. The Anglo world has a tradition of one marriage, and that churches are licensed to do it by the state. Anyway, so I replied to this at StylidiumLane. Whenever anyone says "no offence," it means that they know they will be offensive, and deliberately so. You assume that marriage is by necessity a religious thing. That's a very Anglo-Saxon worldview. Here in Germany we have a civil ceremony and then go to church, mosque, synagogue if you want to. When I had my civil union, I had the civil part in the morning. We went and had lunch and then had a Quaker meeting for commitment in the afternoon. The classic response was, at John C. R. Warner, "I'm Australian. We are renowned for speaking our mind honestly, regardless of people's feelings. If it is offensive, deal with it, but honesty is the only way I communicate. I don't pander to individuals' insecurities. Do the Quakers condone homosexuality?" To which I replied in a two-parter. At StylidiumLane, Firstly, I do not care if you say STFU, as you did. I hated the mealy-mouthed no offence, which I take as very unstraightforward speaking, the virtue that you claim by being Australian. Perhaps your manner reminds me more of Pauline Hanson than Dame Edna Everage, who, as Barry Humphries, has done more for culture and thought in Australia than many. To be literal about your prejudice question, the blunt answer is no, can't. Now, I think the thing you need to know is that Pauline Hanson is a obnoxious, racist member of the federal parliament in Australia. She basically has run through several parties and even set up her own. It's sort of not quite, not a very good ambassadress for Australia, put it that way. And Barry Humphries is a world expert on Dadaism and art in general. Anyway, so the second part, I said, the reason the answer is no is because the question you asked was, do the Quakers condone homosexuality? First, the word homosexuality is not the preferred term. Lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgendered would probably be better term. LGBT for short. Second, the word condone implies a level of permission to be involved in sin, and that is a mistake in understanding 1, Quaker thinking, and 2, the nature of Quakers. My partnership is under the care of the Quaker meeting. I'm going to leave this till the second video because I actually have put into the video her reply to the first half. What she did was she put a message up and then removed it, but I got an email telling me that she'd done it. At John C.R. Warner, you mistake me for someone who gives a shit what you think of me. And I replied, my question to you, even though you have withdrawn your comment, is why you're bothering to reply. The classic reply from StylidiumLane was, I'm bored. And I replied, sorry, but being bored is not a response to being challenged for your comments and opinions. Now I have to say that my response was in the middle of quite a few things that were happening simultaneously in this conversation. There were 2 conversations going on, and I had slightly misunderstood, and she corrected me. She rightly responded, you mean you don't accept my answer, but that is why I'm responding. It's this or Facebook. My roomie is asleep. So the conversation continued with me writing, at StylidiumLane. So because you're bored, you choose to display your ignorance to the world, and that is the attitude that a troll might take. To which she replied, yes, I live under a bridge. Laughing my arse off. Again, you assume that I care what you think, and if I'm a troll, then you have played into my game completely by entertaining me and wasting your time. And I replied, StylidiumLane, but I also entertained by your messages, as they will make an excellent example for a video I'm preparing. And that's the end of the first part. And this is the video that I was referring to in the messages. I hope you enjoyed watching me feed a troll. I like to have trolls keep talking, as they eventually show their prejudices and ill thought out views. I have to say, I was once described by someone as the nastiest Quaker he had ever encountered. Thank you for watching.